Hello, I'm Bernard Hickey from interest.co.nz and welcome to a double shot interview. We have here Phil Veal from Matakite Capital Management here in the office with us. Welcome in, Phil. Good to see you. We want to talk about KiwiSaver and what KiwiSaver funds can invest in. Phil, what are you proposing that has changed in the way that our KiwiSaver funds are invested?
We don't believe KiwiSavers have a full choice of asset classes to be able to invest in at the moment. And if you look at KiwiSaver funds, they tend to be restricted to marketable securities, stocks and bonds. And our proposal, we'd make a small amendment to give them the option to allocate some of their portfolios to alternative assets, illiquid assets.
So what sort of things are you talking about when you say illiquid assets?
Well, an example might be something as private equity fund, a venture capital fund. You could also include assets such as forestry block, infrastructure projects and those sorts of things.
Talking about forestry, we've got these big forests in the North Island that are actually mostly owned by Harvard, which makes a specialty of investing in these illiquid assets. Why would a pension fund want to invest in an illiquid asset like that?
Well, it's an interesting question, and Harvard in particular is managed by a New Zealander who has an affinity and actually has a forestry degree from the University of Canterbury. But the reason they're in this asset is, and it's an illiquid asset, it's not something you can sell in a hurry, but it is something that provides a good steady yield, and it's something that has good capital appreciation over time. So those funds and those endowments, in particular, the US endowments that we've spoken to, are invested in a lot of similar assets.
But KiwiSaver funds can invest in a lot of things. Why wouldn't they invest in these liquid assets at the moment? What's stopping them?
Right. There's a constraint, and it is, we've called it the liquidity constraint. And effectively it's the right that every KiwiSaver has to take all of their funds from one provider and move it to another provider, on a very short notice period. And the effect that has is that essentially forces the manager to retain all of their funds in a relatively liquid form. The way the managers respond to that is they keep it in bonds and marketable securities.
So that means they're not investing in those long-term assets that could provide a better return over the long term for people who maybe are still 25, 30. And
no, absolutely right. So you've got what should be a long-term capital pool, so folks that are 20, 25 that should be investing over a 40-year horizon. But because of the liquidity requirement, are investing on a 30-day, quarterly basis and very high turnover.
And it's interesting that some of the big pension funds overseas make a point of investing quite a high proportion, less than 1%, in these types of funds. At the moment, I understand KiwiSaver funds have less than 1% in these high growth illiquid assets longer term.
That's right, Bernard. Our analysis shows that there is virtually zero investment of KiwiSaver funds in illiquid or longer term assets.
And what's your interest in trying to get the law changed on this? You're a fund manager based in the United States?
I'm not a fund manager. I'm an investor. I'm a private equity investor, and my partner's venture capital private equity investors based in the United States. So our ambition is to, we see some very good investment opportunities in New Zealand, and our ambition is to raise a fund here. At some stage, and what happened was when we were looking at the pools of institutional capital that were available here, we looked at KiwiSaver, and it was very interesting to see that was a pool of capital that was invested significantly at odds with what you'd expect in terms of long-term capital pool. And what's happening is you've essentially got a pool of capital that should be long-term money, but it's being invested in a very short-term way. So the analogy or the metaphor we've used in our submission to the Commerce Committee around the law change is that it's actually not a pool of capital at all, it's a series of puddles.
And so now you're making a proposal to the Commerce Committee. Where are we in the process? What happens now?
So the Commerce Committee is in session, I think, in the month of June, and they will be hearing a series of submissions from interested stakeholders, including Matakite Capital. And we will be presenting to them on June the 21st. And our hope is that as part of the debate that we see starting in New Zealand, that they'll view that submission favourably and make the appropriate amendments.
Thank you very much for coming, and good to see you, Phil. There, Phil Veal from Matakite Capital Management, talking about KiwiSaver and what types of assets our KiwiSaver funds invest in. I'm Bernard Hickey for interest.co.nz with a special report for our KiwiSaver channel, brought to you in association with AMP.